Dear colleagues, my name is Knut Skansen. I am the library director of Deichman Library, which is the public library here in Oslo. I would very much appreciate to be together with you in Athens, but unfortunately I had a schedule that couldn't allow me to do that. But I am very happy that I can join you in this way and talk a bit about Norwegian legislation for public libraries and how we practice that. As you will know, we have recently opened our brand new central library, and I am now in the new central library, and actually I'm in one of our three podcast studios. And that is because I think basically this connects very well with the purpose of the library and what I'm going to talk about. As you will know, Norway has a legislation that is quite advanced in when it comes to one issue compared to other countries. We had an amendment of the legislation for public libraries in Norway in 2013, saying that the library, or the public library specifically, should be an arena for public debate. And we are actually asked by legislation to invite different kind of voices, different kind of opinions into the library and create dialogue, debate, and also raise difficult issues in the library. And in that way, we are becoming, I think, a very important democratic bedrock institution in society. In some ways, public libraries, they have always been a part of the democratic infrastructure. But by this amendment of the legislation here in Norway, we have by law both the possibility, but also we need to create a lot of events in the library that actually allows different political voices to come and be heard in the library. This is sometimes complicated because we are, of course, like all public libraries, a public institution, and we have an owner, and that is, of course, the city. And the city is run by politicians. So I think it is very important to understand that having this possibility in the library, that actually we can and should promote a variety, a spectrum of voices, is something that kind of protects us against political influence by the owner, which is of course shifting all the time. We have had very few problems with this in Oslo, and I think in Norway in general the politicians are very, very careful in general not to interfere with what I would call the editorial responsibility of the library director. But we see that this is changing in some countries. And certainly we see it, I think, in America. I hear from many colleagues there that they have problems with different kind of local authorities that will not allow certain books or certain voices to be raised in the library. When it comes to public libraries, I think I mentioned that they are part of the bedrock democratic infrastructure in society. And at least here in Norway, the legislation is also connected to the constitution, the freedom of expression, for example, and the right to enter the library as a free citizen. And we have, I as a library director, I shouldn't have any right to deny anyone to enter the library and use their voice, as long as they are within the limits of Norwegian law. And of course, discrimination and hatred and all these issues is now regulated in a way, so we can and should sanction what is not acceptable, but we can't sanction and we can't cancel opinions that we don't agree on, or which is, I would say, to some extent sometimes contrary to the values of the library. A library for me is firstly and foremost a public space, and we should always remember that the owner of the library is not us, the employees. It is actually the patrons and the people coming to the library, and we are facilitators, we are moderators, and we are serving them as good as we can, but they should themselves be able to unfold with all their voices, content, and intentions. And I mentioned I'm now in a podcast studio. We have 3 of them here in the new library in Bjørvika, and they are used by us. We produce quite a lot of podcasts, but as well, the users and the patrons, they can come here and they can register and reserve these rooms. We can teach them how to use the equipment, and they can produce their podcasts. Why is this important? I think one of the main issues we have in society now, problems really, is that certainly young people, they are afraid of raising their voice because it's becoming so difficult to kind of disagree in our society. Disagreement is seen often as someone not being respected, and we have a tendency to this cancel culture, and it's very difficult to talk about I would say issues that connects to sexuality, gender, racism, etc., because people are afraid of saying something wrong. So what we do here is to give people access to the technology and give them confidence that they can express themselves and train on disagreeing, I would say. We need to rediscover, in a way, how to disagree in a civilized way. And digital channels like Facebook and other social media is not, I think, a very good place to learn that. It's much easier if you meet in a social space, in a physical space, like the library, and meet each other face to face. And you have then, I think, better conversations, better debates, and learn more about similarities rather than differences between people. So we have expanded this also to programs in all our libraries. We have debates with local politicians, with people from different parts of the city, and we raise topics that are important for the local community to discuss. And I think to evolve and develop this part of the library as a public space for understanding each other better, meeting each other, learning who is your neighbor, see a face and not only read a message in social media. It's the way we can bridge people together and create more sustainable and robust local communities in the city. So I will finalize just by also mentioning that I think young people in our days, they are quite frustrated with all the crisis. They want change. They want to create a better future like all of us. And I think the public library, we own them really to give them access to all tools where they can express themselves, where they can gain some kind of optimism and see that they can participate in their community and also create, together with other people, solutions for the future for their community. We have a global crisis when it comes to climate. We have just exited the pandemic crisis, or maybe we could still say that it's here, but at least it's not so near anymore. And we have, of course, the crisis in Ukraine. And I think we have seen, at least here in Oslo, that the public library is now one of the most, if not the most important public arena in the city, where we can regain some kind of positive focus on solutions and building down differences, bridging gaps, and get people together again. So I wish you good luck with your conference, and I wish you all welcome to Oslo whenever you have the chance to see the new Bjørvika Library and all the branch libraries. We have really a new golden age, I would say, in Oslo when it comes to public libraries, thanks to our politicians and owners that have chosen to invest a lot of money in the library network these years. And I think that is important because the library is really one of the major solutions, I think, for the future. Thank you.